In the grand narrative of rags to riches tales, few names shine as brightly as Andrew Carnegie. Born in 1835 in a one-room stone cottage in Dunfermline, Scotland, Carnegie's journey from impoverished immigrant to one of the wealthiest industrialists in American history reads like a myth, but it was very real. And behind his extraordinary rise lay the timeless principles that now form what we call the legacy code: self-determination, belief, resilience, and alignment with a greater vision. This is not just the story of how one man built a steel empire. It's the story of how mindset, opportunity, and unshakable willpower came together to rewire reality. It's the story of how a boy with nothing learned to carry the frequency of abundance long before it showed up in his bank account. Let's begin. Andrew Carnegie was born into poverty. His father, a handloom weaver, struggled to provide for the family as industrialization swept through Scotland and rendered traditional crafts obsolete. By the time Andrew was 13, the Carnegies faced starvation, so they made a bold decision: emigrate to America. They arrived in Pittsburgh in 1848. The family was penniless, but America was booming. Young Andrew took a job as a bobbin boy in a cotton factory, working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week for $1.20 a week. But unlike others who accepted poverty as fate, Andrew saw beyond the factory walls. He understood something most didn't. Labor wasn't his legacy. Learning was. Carnegie borrowed books from a local benefactor and devoured them. He educated himself relentlessly. Knowledge became his bridge to a better life. And even in exhaustion, he held on to the belief that he was meant for more. Opportunity rarely announces itself. It whispers through people, conversations, and proximity. Carnegie knew this. At age 15, he got a job as a telegraph messenger for the Ohio Telegraph Company. It was a modest position, but it placed him near the railroad executives and businessmen of Pittsburgh. He learned to decode Morse code by ear, making him one of the fastest operators around. But more importantly, he listened. He watched how wealthy men spoke, made deals, and made decisions. He absorbed their frequency. When Tom Scott of the Pennsylvania Railroad noticed the young Carnegie's brilliance, he took him under his wing. Mentorship became Andrew's secret weapon. He rose through the ranks quickly and became Scott's assistant at just 18. And here's the key lesson. Carnegie didn't climb by force. He aligned. He made himself so valuable that elevation was inevitable. Under Tom Scott's mentorship, Carnegie learned the art of investment. His first real leap came when Scott advised him to invest in the Adams Express Company, a courier service. Carnegie borrowed money and made the investment. A gutsy move for a young man with no financial cushion. It paid off. The returns gave Carnegie his first taste of passive income. He realized that wealth wasn't just about working harder. It was about placing your energy and money in places where they multiply. From there, he invested in oil, railroads, and bridges. Each move was calculated, and each win expanded his confidence. But it wasn't just luck. It was legacy thinking, making choices today that echo through tomorrow. The real turning point came when Carnegie recognized the future of steel. In the post-Civil War era, America needed infrastructure, railroads, buildings, bridges, etc. Steel was the backbone of modern industry. Carnegie poured his resources into building the most efficient steel operation in the world. He embraced the Bessemer process, a new method of mass-producing steel inexpensively. While others hesitated, Carnegie innovated. His company, Carnegie Steel, revolutionized the industry. It wasn't just his technical edge that made it successful, it was his vision. He wasn't in the steel business, he was in the future-building business. He paid his workers well, by the standards of the time, reduced waste, and created systems that allowed the company to scale. And eventually, in 1901, he sold Carnegie Steel to J.P. Morgan for $303 million. That's over $12 billion in today's money. Andrew Carnegie didn't just build an empire, he redefined what legacy could look like. In his later years, he turned almost entirely to philanthropy. He believed that the purpose of wealth was to uplift humanity. He wrote a famous essay called The Gospel of Wealth, in which he argued that the rich have a moral obligation to distribute their wealth in ways that promote the welfare and happiness of the common man. Carnegie went on to fund over 2,500 libraries around the world. He endowed universities, built concert halls, and established foundations. He gave away over 90% of his fortune before he died. His life proved something powerful. Money is not the end. It's the amplifier. The real legacy is what you do with it. So, what parts of the legacy code did Carnegie live by? Vision before evidence. He believed in his success long before it arrived. Strategic proximity. He placed himself near those who could elevate him. Relentless self-education. He trained his mind to think beyond limitations. Aligned action. Every step he took reinforced his end goal. Impact over income. He used wealth to shape society, not just stack it. Carnegie didn't just climb out of poverty. He rewired the way people saw what was possible. He became a symbol not just of wealth, but of potential actualized. And that, in the end, is what the legacy code is all about. Not what you have, but what you activate. No matter what position you find yourself in now, you can always grab your piece of the pie. Andrew Carnegie created huge wealth, not only for himself, but for many others, too. He was the richest man in the world at one time and gave 90% of it away before he died. If this video resonated with you, why not hit the like button and subscribe? That way, you'll never miss a video. Thank you for watching.